My name is Eric Wall. I live in Seattle, Washington. I am Grant Wall's brother. I am gay. I am the reason he wore the rainbow shirt to the World Cup. My brother was healthy. He told me he received death threats. I do not believe my brother just died. I believe he was killed. And I just beg for any help.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the 48-year-old journalist by the name of Grant Wall, who died suddenly over in Qatar while he was covering the World Cup. Now, before I say anything else, I want to say rest in peace to Mr. Wall and prayers out to his family, prayers to his brother, who I just showed in the very beginning of this video, who is obviously going through a tough time right now. However, there's a lot I want to say here. Some things could be controversial. Some things could be a little bit off-putting, depending upon how you look at it. But I want to just cover all angles. Now, the reason why this is kind of a big story is because, number one, he's an American. Number two, nobody really knows how he died. And number three, there was a controversial situation that came about as a result of something that Grant Wall did. Now, let's get into the controversy first of what he did before. This was back on November 21st of this year. Here's a tweet from Mr. Wall where you can see he's wearing a very interesting shirt in Qatar. Okay, now before I get to why it's interesting, let's read this caption. Free to read what happened when a Qatar World Cup security detained me for 25 minutes for wearing a t-shirt supporting LGBTQ rights. Forcibly took my phone and angrily demanded that I remove my t-shirt to enter the stadium. I refused. And there's a whole story on the Substack, which you can read right there through this link, which will be in the description box. But you see the t-shirt right here, LGBT shirt, obvious what he's got going on. It's a soccer ball. He's covering the World Cup in Qatar with the rainbow around it. That's not tolerated really by people over in Qatar. It's an Islamic Republic, so they're not really into this kind of stuff. And that was an issue. Now, some are saying that Grant Wall was killed as a result of the shirt. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go that far. I don't know about that. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, people want to kind of go to the extreme of Jamal Khashoggi, also in America. Well, he wasn't American. He happened to be living in America, but he was not American. I think he was Saudi, who just happened to be living in America. This guy, Grant Wall, was an actual American over in Qatar, which is right there off the coast of Saudi Arabia. You're in an Islamic place. You have on this LGBT shirt, and all of a sudden you're gone. Now, he is not the only one who had an LGBT type quote unquote protest in Qatar. There's videos, people being arrested in the airport. I think the German national team might have done the fist or the kneeling because of LGBT. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on like that because the Islamic world is not very friendly and open to LGBT. And there was a big hubbub about them having the World Cup in the place like that. Now, there, of course, is more to the story. I'm going to get into this article on New York Times. And, of course, this article will be in the description. But let's get into it. You see the headline, soccer journalist dies at World Cup after collapsing at Argentina game. Grant Wall, who in his career covered soccer for Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports, and CBS, was in Qatar for his 8th Men's World Cup. And to add a little bit more before we get into it, to also address the elephant in the room, an obvious thing, he was complaining about not feeling well. I think he had maybe even gone to the hospital. This could be a quote-unquote die suddenly type situation. You know how people have been dying suddenly all over the world. There's a little film, movie, documentary, whatever you want to call, that has a similar name to what I just said. You can look up somewhere. I don't know, maybe on YouTube or Rumble. I don't know where it is, but you can find something like that, and it'll give you some really interesting information. But I digress. Let's get into this article. And, of course, it'll be in the box. This is a picture from 2014. It says, Grant Wall, highly regarded soccer journalist who wrote extensively on the game, died Friday in Qatar, was covering the quarterfinal between Argentina and Netherlands. His agent, Tim Scanlon, confirmed the death on the phone interview with Friday night. Scanlon said that Wall had been in the press box in the closing minutes of the match when he went into acute distress. So, I mean, we're talking about cardiac arrest. Like, what's really going on here? He is believed to have died, Scanlon said, at a hospital in Qatar, or while he was being taken to one after feeling unwell as the tournament proceeded. Quote, he wasn't sleeping well, and I asked him if he tried melatonin or anything like. Scanlon said, he said, I just need to, like, relax for a bit. So he was not feeling well. Like I said, this could be a diet suddenly type thing because of certain things been floating around the whole world. It's been forcibly given to people to be able to travel, to be able to work, to be able to do anything. That could be it. Or maybe somebody put something in this food, put something in this drink. Which do you guys think is more likely, that he was poisoned because of the LGBT shirt, or that he had some prior medical condition caused by a thing that a lot of others have had throughout the entire world? Y'all let me know in the comments which one is more likely, but I'll keep on going. According to two New York Times journalists who were present, medical personnel performed chest compressions and other treatment for about 20 minutes before Wall was taken out of the Lusail Iconic Stadium. Wall was in the midst of his 8th Men's World Cup with an aggressive schedule of reporting stories and recording podcasts. Wall's wife, Dr. Celine Gonder, also confirmed the death in the post on Twitter. A family friend said that Gonder asked for privacy and would leave all public comment to the U.S. Embassy in Qatar and the U.S. Soccer Federation. Now, if his wife is a doctor, like a medical doctor, and not like Dr. Jill Biden, if she's an actual doctor, I presume that Wall lived a pretty healthy life. You know, I would presume that. I mean, if your wife is a doctor, maybe she has some good advice for you on how to stay healthy, how to stay fit. And the guy, lucky, was in pretty good shape. I mean, he doesn't appear to be obese or anything crazy like that. So, I mean, what happened? That's the question. I mean, a lot of the things that have been going on as far as a virus itself and not the vax happen when you are unhealthy. Now, if you got the vax, you might be healthy and still you might have a problem. But it could be something else going on, like his brother was alluding to, that could have caused this to happen. Ned Price, the State Department spokesman, said U.S. officials were in contact with Wall's family and were, quote, engaged with senior Qatari officials to see it that his family's wishes are fulfilled as expeditiously as possible. So they're talking about how long he had been working, 1996, SI for 23 years. He's from Mission, Kansas, et cetera, et cetera. Now, that's pretty much that. If you want to read more about Grant Wall, that article will be in the description box. But this is a very interesting story. It's still developing. We're still going to get more news from it. I don't necessarily think it was foul play from the Qataris, because why would you do that to him? Why him specifically and not anyone else that has protested the whole LGBTQ thing in Qatar? So I don't think it's that. I think it's more about something else that he got that everybody else has either gotten or has been asked to get or has been exposed to or has heard about. That's my humble opinion. But as I close, I want to say this. Regardless of how he died, what the circumstances actually were, regardless of that, I don't think it's a good idea to go to a foreign country and just do whatever you want to do. If you know Qatar is a place where LGBT stuff is not really permitted or is frowned upon because of their culture, because of their ideology, because of their religion, maybe just leave them alone. Just respect it or don't go. Don't try to go over there and force your ideas on them. That's not what we're about. Now, people talk about, a lot of these liberals talk about they're against colonization, colonialism, and all this and that. But then they go to a place where their culture, meaning the guest comes to a place and tries to impose the guest culture on the host nation. That's the same thing as colonialism, trying to push your language and mores and values and all of that on native people. Leave them alone. If you don't want to engage in their culture, then don't go. It's simple as that to me, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What do you think happened here? Do you think this was foul play? Do you think it was because of some pre-existing condition that he already had? Do you think it was the shot? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I think it was the shot. In my opinion, or something like that. Well, I don't want to say I think it was a shot because I don't want to get this video pulled off the whole internet, but I'm saying he probably already had a condition that led to his untimely demise. Now, could it have been spurred on by external forces, by unnatural means? Of course. Yes, it could have. But I don't think it was the Qataris that did that to him. Is it possible? Yes, of course. 100%. But like I said, if you don't want to have any kind of suspicion of that, then when you go to a new place, just respect their traditions. When in Rome, do as the Romans. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.